The Western Pacific chapter of the Design Build Institute of America presents a discussion on, has the cost of participating in best value selection processes made your business model unsustainable? This program was originally recorded on March 20th, 2012 at the Hotel Biltmore in Los Angeles. This recording will be divided into two parts. The first part will describe the problem and the various participants' take on this problem. The second part will describe some potential ideas that the participants have in hope of stimulating a national discussion on recommending new industry-wide best practices to be adopted by the practitioners and owners in participating in a best value selection process. We've kind of told where we are today and where the system is, and what we'd like to talk about is potential opportunities for improvement. And let's start, I'm going to throw this one at Dave right first. Why don't you throw some things that you see, and anybody else wants to chime in, I'd be happy to hear.
Yeah, I think that, again, you have up the proprietary meetings. Maybe I jumped ahead. So that's obviously a best practice we want to see used. Another thing that's been talked about up here is trust. I think that's another very important thing that we want to work on, is trust in both directions. And one thing is also, you're selecting a design builder who has been, in most cases, been a design builder, and their team have been design builders for quite some time. Check it when you're checking in with them along the way. Check and see where the budget is as well. Check and see where the schedule is as well. That's a way to also get some feedback from the industry and see where you're at. We are pretty good at looking at historical numbers, looking at historical cost, and determining pretty quickly within a range what the most likely budget is going to be for your project. And it's a way, again, for us to work together and check and adjust. The thought that, well, if you keep going for 3 months, your budget will come down some, maybe some, but not typically not with the level of sophistication that we have now, not going to come down by much. So that's one thing I would definitely like to highlight today. Another thing that I think is real important is the selection of your team members. I think that's critical. Another thing that we all need to work on in the industry is we need to make sure that our teams, 1 + 1 is something greater than 2. 1 + 1 is 3. You need to find the right team members, people you have experience with, people that are true design builders, people that will help make the process better, people that bring their experience and your experience together, make something better than just 1 + 1 is 2. So those are a couple of things.
Anybody else? A question was asked from the audience: how much time is needed to run a proper design build best value selection process?
I have a suggestion along with some others, but once you get to the final list, whether it's 2, 3, 4, well, let's say they're 3, then the amount of time would be the amount of time those 3 proposals mutually agreed on as the most appropriate amount of time. I've had this question before on competition. Sometimes if you go too far, it costs more money. If you go too short on time, they'll miss something and they're afraid of making a mistake. Let the finalist make a decision as to what's the best amount of time given your project, your requirements, your submittal requirements, your circumstances. Let them decide. You can put some upper and lower limits on it, but let them decide. Then that will cut off any complaints as either there wasn't enough or there was too much time.
Depending on the size of the project, I think if you polled all of our offices, and if you polled a lot of the major design build subcontractors, they would tell you that 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks would be the appropriate amount of time. Obviously, it depends on the magnitude and complexity of the project. But I've seen some major projects put together in that period of time with a very high confidence level and a very high quality submission.
If the best practices model I think I'm hearing from the panel, which is really what I came here to hopefully get and take back, is provide access through confidential meetings with the customers and provide as many of our stakeholders in those meetings as we can. Allow the finalists to indicate what the actual time frame should be allowed for the design piece prior to giving a firm fixed price for the proposal, and stay away from bridging documents. That sounds like the three big things that I need to be focusing on for best practices.
I think you want bridging I think everybody expects there to be some level of bridging documents. The question is, what is the level?
We've heard that you want that to be just a program document.
Not necessarily. Go back to your original question. How much time is required? That's predicated on the degree of development of the deliverables you expect. Now, on the project we worked on, we had to provide a full schematic level development, construction document level specifications, a BIM level 200 model for the entire project. Well, if you require that, then you better allow a good 3 months. Now, I'd like to think you don't need that much information to make an educated decision about what's the best team for you and your project. But people that carry that level of deliverable to that degree of detail, you're going to require the team to spend a lot of time, and that's a 3-month exercise. If you only require what Ed's talking about, sort of schematic level drawings and plans, elevations, a few sections, site development, the project that I'm describing to you, we could do that in a month, 6 weeks, but that's not what was required of us. Remember that the design team is a function of the builder. And the builder's if he's going to have to give a price, or he's going to establish within a best value model what are the enhancements, he's got to price that accurately. So he's going to require of us on the design side much more oftentimes than the owner requires in terms of the deliverable under a proposal, because he's got to be able to price it accurately to have confidence in this number. So there's two pieces here. One is what the owner requires, one is what the builder requires.
I'm hearing two messages here. Do you want bridging documents or not? I've been told by just about everyone, crank down the bridging documents, go with the program statement as a best practices model.
Yeah.
Are you saying that that's not where you want to go?
No. After all, whoever prepared the bridging document for you, what did they have when they started? They just had a program. That same talent and skill exists on the design build team. So if they're experienced in whatever the building type is, whether it's corrections or so forth, you give them the program, they pretty much know they could get to that bridging document level very, very quickly. Plus, you have then eliminated all the other potential solutions.